Hey everybody, hope we're live. Welcome to an episode of the Any Key. Oh my
End episode.
goodness. An episode 27 to be specific.
This is
Um
indeed an episode.
As always, I'm your host Draconis, and I am joined by my sassy co-hosts Striger and Bear.
Yay,
Welcome,
we did
gentlemen.
it, Reddit. We got it right.
Yeah, without the D. Yeah. I could have done it all along, but you know what? It felt like
It felt better this way.
it felt better. Bear, welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
How was your exam?
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Why even go?
Because it was
Why
worth
you even
10% of
go?
my mark.
Oh, that's it? I wouldn't go for that. Don't
is
roll
what
out
it
of
is.
bed unless it's 30% at least.
Oh, wait, how much percentage did he say it was?
10? 10,
That's it?
11, 12? I don't know. One of
Like
those
nothing.
numbers.
No, you need to work on those assignments, boys.
That's it. Just get like 90% in everything else in the course and you're Gucci. You don't even need to go.
It's all these
Amazing.
little 10% quizzes they add up.
Oh, I see.
Wait. Oh, so these quizzes are 10%? I thought this was a midterm.
That final
But-
quiz.
I don't know. How do you classify a midterm? It's like,
It happens during the middle of your term?
but like, I don't, whatever. I don't know. We can discuss the semantics of what a midterm versus a test is, but it's a midterm in my eyes.
So, guys, welcome to the Aniki, the show where we talk about esports culture and midterms and discuss all the great things that are happening in Bear's life. Coming up to it, I just realized something, and after our launch party on Saturday, which we'll discuss in a second, but I always feel that the Aniki should use or have more alcohol, like as a whole. I feel like we
Can you
need to
even
have.
say that? I don't think you can even say pretty sure
This is
we're
the first I'm hearing
violating-
of it.
Pretty
Oh,
sure we're
like-
violating some Twitch regulation right
No,
now.
no, it's only a suggestion. It's not like we're drinking,
Oh, I see, I see.
Grey Goose
Yeah,
on the stream.
These are shots of Monster.
No, okay, no. Hold on. I don't. First of all, I don't think it
I
violates
don't know what's in.
regulation. But think about it. Think about just on the couch, discussing esports over a beer or some other beverage, which you have the label covered, so they're not a sponsor, but and you
Not
kick
a
back,
sponsor. We need to work on that.
and you kick back and we discuss esports, right? And nothing. I have had the best esports discussions over a martini.
Were you on camera?
That's the problem, though. I should have been on camera.
Oh,
And
I
that's
see.
why I think that Bear, you need to move down to Toronto, and then we just need to get together
I
in
live in the
Meltdown.
GTA.
Kingston is not the GTA.
Well, no, for the most part, when I'm not in school, which is like
Uh,
5 months of the year.
Okay, so what we'll do on one of our maybe our 50th episode or 40th episode or whatever it is, we'll film it in Meltdown as a special celebration. Get a couple of celebrational drinks, and
Think we're
have
gonna
it
be
as
ready by then.
Probably not. Oh, even better. Great idea for the grand opening of Meltdown. We'll try to coincide it with our 50th episode. Maybe they'll
Oh,
sync
wow.
Those will sync
Well,
up.
they'll sync up. Like it could be the grand opening and the 298th episode.
up. And we'll do a special episode live from Meltdown. That would be a lot of fun. So, anyways, I thought that would be something to bring up, just because I always feel like this show really could benefit with just a little bit of I don't know.
My guess is Drekken's had a long day and he needs a stiff drink.
I
He
hate
wants
to
something
get
girly. He wants a little
rude.
martini.
Listen, first of all, martinis are classy. You uncultured swine.
It's the skirts that are unclassy.
Yes. All right, so let's jump into some esports and we'll mix that with a martini. And so let's jump in. So let's do a overview, critical update of what happened. Coming up, that went by. We had the Legacy of Void launch party. Bear, give us the rundown.
So we had some a show match go on between Huck and Massa. They played a best of 7, and it was just a bunch of people hanging out at Meltdown, kind of in beta phase right now. Just hung out,
Beta.
nice intimate setting. Gave away some prizes, did some trivia on stream, which was kind of fun. And then we actually had some audience members play Archon mode with Huck and
So
Massa, which was
actually,
pretty
let's
sweet.
let's be truthful though. It was more in an alpha than it was beta. Meltdown alpha stage.
Sure, like no one's giving me the
Oh,
definitions
it
of these
was-
words, but
Rustic decor is what we'll call it.
yes,
Rustic.
Bare bones.
Yes, there
No
we
no
go. I like
frills.
there was
No
walls and a
frills.
floor.
No frills. That's
Some
what
to,
we
be,
lights.
call it.
to be honest though, or I guess always be honest, but it when it gets its decor, I think
Just this
it'll be
once.
just this once. It'll be a solid place to go when it gets its decor.
Absolutely.
I agree.
But the show matches were good. I thought I
They had
hope
some
they
good games. They went to
I
game
do-
7, which was awesome.
I know. Huck said the most stressful time was the Archon mode, which
Really?
kind of surprised me. Yeah, he said the Archon mode was the most stressful
Not
because
losing to Massa.
no, it was because it was out of his control. The lack of complete control over his army made him feel stressed.
I'd expect somebody like Huck had to have played Archon mode at least a couple of times.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he has.
That's fine, but like his partner could have done things to screw him over. I remember actually his partner didn't know how to surrender. Like he didn't
Oh.
even know how to leave the game. So like I feel like he might not have been too happy with that, but it's
Yeah,
kind of
'cause he
funny.
probably wanted to surrender very early on in that case. Not knowing how to get out would have been very frustrating, I'm sure.
I'm sure it must have been very difficult for him. But you know,
Abort, I don't know how, Captain.
To be fair, he
Overall-
won Archon mode, but yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah,
good.
he did.
Yeah.
Overall, though, it was great games to be watched.
I guess it's a good thing his partner didn't know how to surrender.
Is overall, everyone had a good time. What was your favorite drink, Bear? Oh, you didn't drink any of them.
Didn't
Never
have a single
mind.
drink.
Oh,
What was
oh.
yours?
Definitely the stim pack was the best one, best drink. I hope they actually name a drink after me. I'm gonna put a petition in a get direct drink.
I'll sign it, but I mean, don't get your hopes up.
You can't sign a drink. Okay. LAN War this weekend. What are we looking forward to, Jameer?
We have CS:GO and we have StarCraft as opposed to what was originally planned to be Dota. Not happening because there's not much of a Dota tournament apparently happening at LAN War. Unfortunate, but you know it is what it is. So we'll be covering StarCraft instead, and we will be covering CS:GO. CS:GO is apparently very, very popular at LAN War right now. There's a lot of teams signed up.
CS:GO is always popular everywhere.
You know what? I find myself saying that more and more, so I can't disagree. And I'm happy. I'm happy that that's the case. It's a lot of fun to watch and to play. So nothing wrong with that. You can check it out on our channel. Starts on Saturday. The grand finals should be on Sunday. When we'll have True and Tyler casting it. Same two casters from Frag for Cancer. So if you enjoyed them last time, check them out again this weekend. Yeah, that's it. You should be there. If you're not already registered or signed up, you should definitely come join us there.
Whenever we talk about going to events, I always think about how many sleeps away it is until LAN ETS.
Till ETS, regardless of what event it is, you're thinking about how many sleeps it is till ETS.
It's like that's it. That's all I can think about. It's just like
LAN War's coming up. I wonder how many more times I need to go to sleep before it's ETS time.
That's basically what I go through. I go through those moments where I'm like, I can't wait for LAN ETS. You know what? I don't know if it's the Montreal or it's the organizers or always have a great time. But enough about ETS because I could talk about it all day. Let's go into the first things. So, first topic onto the chopping block. Fnatic releases their own peripherals. I saw this came across my newsfeed, and I thought this would be a fascinating thing to discuss. Not particularly because of Fnatic and their peripherals. The question may come up: is this like legit peripherals, or are these gonna be crap peripherals? Like you have to assume because they have a team, they could probably design like
Well, it's all about a market slice, right? Like if they want to design really good peripherals, they're obviously going to have to charge for them appropriately. So, in which case, if they're designing peripherals for their players, like the actual tier one Fnatic Pro players, then you can expect that the product is also going to be expensive, which means you're going to sell less of them. So it's kind of like
I
you
don't
know,
know.
depend.
I don't think that's always the correlation. I don't think like if it's more expensive, you're gonna sell less. Like,
No,
right?
that is always the correlation.
That's
You might
basic
make
of
more money
economics.
doing it. You might make more money doing it, but you're always going to sell less items.
Fair enough.
Like,
Okay.
I mean,
I
if you
guess
have
less is actually relative. I should have really
yes,
so right, less is
well, everything is relative. So this too is relative. Yes.
this too is relative. So their lineup is called Flick and
Really.
Rush. Flick is the mouse, and Rush is the mechanical keyboard, and they have put up an Indiegogo for it,
Oh.
and they've raised $13,000 as of 2 days ago, as it looks like. What's interesting about this, what this actually warrants a discussion, is should more organizations, and the answer is probably yes, but should more organizations get into like the retail business? Like they instead of because they dropped Steel Series for this. This wasn't just like, they're like, listen, we don't need your support anymore. We are a big boy, and we're
Hmm.
gonna make what you made, going out on their own.
Um.
Obviously, not
Honestly,
everybody can do this. This is something that
only the larger organizations. Obviously, like how long before we start seeing like Alliance gear, EG gear, not as sincere gear, like. But really, it seems like a two-way street to me, though. I mean, we already see enough peripheral companies that have their own teams, right? Like you mentioned earlier,
oh, that's a good
iBuyPower
point.
has their team. So I mean, how long before teams start making peripherals, right? It doesn't have to be a one-way street necessarily. So
I didn't even realize this is the reverse flow where you have
right,
peripheral companies.
right. This is just a salmon swimming upstream now. It's like
Mm,
But I think
you
this
gotta
makes more sense that way, right? Because you have these tier one teams that are using the gear, as opposed to saying, "Oh, we're going to sponsor a tier one team to use our gear," right?
but in the
right.
same
So,
time, it's the same message regardless, right? It's just who's on what side of the equation
well,
because
no, if Razer makes a mouse, they're saying,
right,
"Okay, now you have to use our new mouse that came out," as
right,
opposed to saying, "This is
but
what our players are using. Do you also want to buy it? Here you
Yeah.
go."
Yeah,
well,
it's
it's
what basically what Bear is saying to clarify is like you buy team jerseys, not the other way around. So if you're buying a jersey, it's because it belongs to a certain player on a team that you really
right.
like, and not like, hey, this jersey is really awesome. I wish they had a player for it. So it kind of makes sense when you look at it that way. But I
Who will
mean,
wear this jersey? Come.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So but I mean, I don't know. Should they? It's a hard question to answer about whether or not more teams should get into it. Like it's something that more teams need to like jump on right now because it's really good. Um, I don't know. This will be a good experiment. Honestly, it'll be very revealing how Fnatic handles this and how their peripherals turn out to be. I'm mainly curious in whether or not it's just rebranded stuff or if they're actually like taking this on as
you think from like ground up? You're wondering if they from the ground up they built a
yeah,
thing,
like
or if they just
really.
like
Well, I
bought
mean,
somebody.
I'm not expecting them to like start up a Fnatic factory or manufacturing line. Obviously, there's solutions for that, but what I am wondering is even if they source all the parts and whatnot, are they like going to the players and designing this product top down, or is it just like
Oh,
is this just a Steel Series product that they're slapping a Fnatic logo on, right?
I think a lot of R and D has to go into that. So they probably bought a company that's going to do it. If they're not
Yeah,
already a main manufacturer, there's someone who has the capability to and probably has the facilities. Or maybe the Indiegogo is to actually buy a smaller company that kind of just needs the money to
could
like
you
lead them
imagine that?
forward.
You put up an Indiegogo. It's like we're gonna buy this company. Help us raise the money to purchase
well,
them.
but that's what I mean. And then are these Fnatic products or are these somebody else's products that is just getting the Fnatic boost? Like,
So I originally thought that question, but from what I can tell, it appears that they're probably look like they're partnered with a manufacturer to put it
Well,
together. From what I can tell,
they
uh,
have to. I would imagine that they don't
well,
have
they're obviously gonna
Fnatic.
have yeah they're gonna have to partner with a manufacturer. I don't expect them to start
to source it
producing
from from ground up.
or to rent a manufacturing facility and hire staff to man the lines or anything like that. But my question is, are they gonna go through what Bear said about like are they gonna do the R&D? Are they gonna go
Well,
to
if
their
they don't do the R
players.
and D though, isn't that defeat the point of even
Well,
doing this? Like,
Well, they're gonna.
no, not necessarily, because the point of doing this is obviously selling peripherals. So you could do that just by buying up a couple of SteelSeries products and putting Fnatic logos on them, and calling them a Fnatic product. Um, but what I'm asking is, are they actually gonna create products out of what their players would suggest? Like, are these actual Fnatic products? Like, are they gonna sit down their Dota players and be like, what is a good mouse to you? What's a good keyboard? Um,
I,
I
I,
I
I think
think
if
it.
they're not doing that's a huge missed opportunity. But there's nothing that indicates to me that they've done anything like these. These look kind of generic, maybe just from my perspective. But this mouse, these mouse pads and the
yeah.
keyboards look
But do
very.
they look like any other companies? Like, could you say like, wow, that looks exactly like a Razer
They
mouse?
look like
The
Steel
mouse,
Series.
yes, the mouse looks like a Steel Series or a Razer's mouse, but it's the standard, typical design.
Hmm.
Keyboard,
It looks
I
like a
don't know.
Corsair one. No, no, never mind. That's just that
Steel
thing. I don't
Series
know.
maybe?
It looks like Steel Series mouse, but everyone has that similar mouse design. Like it's a hatchback of mice. Everyone has one in their lineup somewhere. The keyboard, on the other hand, looks a little smaller. I'm not like I can't really think of. I guess it looks like more like a Razer, one of those Razer tournament keyboards.
Let's see.
Um,
Take a look here really quickly, actually.
so I don't know. I could see. I'm not particularly a Fnatic fan, but I could see myself buying a brand of mice and keyboard created and owned by a team.
This looks like Corsair to me, actually.
See, I think it's a wrist rest, but it's not like that. I think that's just a foam wrist rest that makes it look like Corsair from the picture.
No, no,
But
the
it,
the
is
the
it?
actual like keys and the cable
Yeah,
um look a lot like Corsair, but I mean, I don't know.
I
I'm
doubt
sure
it's
that if we did,
Corsair.
well, I mean, they have to source these parts somewhere, even if they're
Yes.
like even if they're like, all right, we're assembling all these keyboards wherever, where are we buying our USB wire from? It could be from Corsair, like,
Probably the same
or
manufacturer.
the same
Yeah.
place for that matter, not necessarily from Corsair directly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah. A lot of these companies actually have the same plants, anyways, right? So.
Yes.
China.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
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 But like more
Yes.
specifically, the same plant.
The China plant.
Yeah.
Easy.
No, I think this is a good way if they. I'm assuming this way it's gonna be done is where the player is gonna have first hand in the actual like engineering process of these gears, like picking
In
sensors,
honesty, though, if
picking.
you have a good sponsor, like if you have a good sponsor, that's what you should be doing anyways. Like if your sponsor is like a real relationship, your
Right.
sponsor should be soliciting your teams for that very type of feedback, and your gear should be
Well, most
that
sponsors
level.
actually advertise that. Most sponsors actually
Yeah.
advertise that as one of the reasons that they do sponsor teams is for that input from the players. So
Absolutely, that's why
I would,
peripheral sponsors prefer them, like
Like,
to
yeah.
sponsor teams.
That might be a marketing ploy, right? Because like
Well,
the
it's
companies.
okay. Let's get one thing straight. Anything you read on any website for any
Yeah.
computer part, peripheral manufacturer is all a marketing ploy. Like there is nothing on there that isn't a marketing ploy. So yes, that does fall under the category of marketing ploys. However, ploy or not, they should do that ploy most of the time. They
Yeah.
do, in order to better their product, which in turn sells more product.
Yeah,
It's a very clever marketing ploy, if you see what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's
I agree.
well, it's exactly why they choose teams, right? Over as opposed to maybe an organize or an event, right? They'll do an event for awareness, but the teams give them so much more value from a sponsor perspective because it brings that personal level to
Well,
the
that and
individual product.
teams have fans, and just like people wear jerseys, people want to use the same mouse or the same keyboard that their favorite carry player uses, or
We need to build a billboard that just or like a database that shows what gear every
That
player
exists.
uses. No, what?
That
No, it
exists.
doesn't.
Yeah, I'll find it for you. Yes.
I'm sure it does actually. Yeah.
Really? It's something that displays
I,
what gear each player uses?
Yep. Yep.
Like, I
and
doubt
like their
that it's-
settings on those gears and everything.
No
doubt-
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can download config files and stuff. I'm sure it's not complete, but the registry
No,
exists.
like, I would
guaranteed.
like a wiki or something like that. Just says, I pull up Boxer and it's like Boxer uses Steel Series
Yes.
mouse, Steel Series keyboard,
Yeah,
Razer
that's,
headset.
This
Yes.
exists.
this,
Really?
This,
How come I must have missed that, man?
We
Uh,
have our first caller.
just Streetlight Dota.
He's ready to call in, give his opinion. One of
Well,
these days. One of these
don't
days.
worry. I like the idea. Someone brought it up. I thought that's actually kind of cool. We'll figure out a way to incorporate call-ins into the any key.
I'm pretty
Maybe
sure.
like a Google what's it, like a Google call-in number or callback number. That
Oh,
way, or we could just
Okay.
plain out Skype. But
considering we're on Skype right now, I don't see why we wouldn't just add them to the
I
call.
don't know. Well, some people have this whole IP being exposed thing. I don't know. You
Oh,
know,
yeah, sure.
maybe. Well, Bear. We have to be considerate of his.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll have
His
to.
IP.
I'll have to
Who
look
Wait,
doesn't
into
wait.
know
this.
whose IPs?
He's on his alternate identity though. I'm pretty sure he has a unique IP for this identity. So
Yeah.
Okay, so moving to the next topic.
moving on.
um, so Sacramento Kings buys LCS team. Well, technically they're
Yep.
their spot in theory.
Yeah,
So
well, they buy the team. That's what the team is. The team is the
the team
spot,
is a
is it not?
spot. Yeah, but I don't know if you buy the team because you're like this team has potential, or you buy a team spot and then swap them out for something
Well,
new.
that's no, because it's kind of like when you rent a place, for example, you rent a house. You're not renting the physical structure. You're renting the piece of land primarily. I mean, if you
What?
take this, if you well, okay, put it this way, you're renting the space, not what's in it, because you can change what's in it, and your rent doesn't
Okay, okay,
change.
all right, all right.
So
That
what
makes
I'm
sense.
saying is, League of Legends or Riot has made this very much the same way, where when you own a team that's a challenger or whatever, they get that spot, right? They're renting out spot. They're renting out team spots like plots of land. That's
No,
something that we talked about.
does anyone else feel like that esports is becoming a lot more difficult, like the plateau for anybody to kind of compete or participate or, on
Barrier to
a
entry.
to entry, the barrier to entry is like drastically rising.
Oh
Yes.
Like,
yeah,
Especially with League of
that's
Legends.
natural though. I mean, okay, this is, but that's just how things like this evolve because
Yep.
you have to have that. I mean, the level of competition is rising to heights where it's never been before. You can't just have any Joe Schmo jump in and try and win millions of dollars anymore. It doesn't. We're not. We've grown way beyond that. It's like if you wanted to play in the Super Bowl or something like that, you gotta work your ass off from like high school, college levels to get all the way up there. You're not just gonna like show up on the field and be like, "Hey guys, like
I have to admit
let
though, a little
let
bit,
me contend."
a little bit of me misses those days where it
Yeah,
was
absolutely.
just you
Yeah,
just had to have the
dream.
passion and the dream, and esports was there right there before you just rolled out of bed
That's it. You
and
just sign up
you were
for the
in
tournament.
esports. You sign up
Yeah.
It
for a
was all the
tournament
wild,
and
wild west. And
you
organizers
Yep.
were.
didn't pay out. Yeah.
Yep.
I was kind of
That's
hoping though. I was kind of hoping we wouldn't have
that's
reached
it.
this level until I was dead. But
Nobody made money.
nobody made
Tournament.
money.
Most tournaments were scams. Organizers disappear in the night. Like, it's. I
The
mean,
veil,
those
The
were
good
the
old
days.
days. The
The good
golden
old
age.
days. Yeah, the golden days of esports.
the smokes and mirrors disappear, and you find out the
Yep.
fun house was just a cardboard cutout. That's it.
Yep.
That was your tournament.
Yep.
Cardboard cutout.
That's it.
You come back looking for the prize money. The doors are locked, and organizer has never been heard from again.
That's it.
Um,
You were playing for annual subscriptions to magazines. Those were the days. You call into the organizer, "Where's my magazine?" "Sorry, we gave them the wrong address."
I know. I just feel like we've gone to this point, and that it. Can you imagine if you were someone who owns any, or you say to yourself, "I want to start a League of Legends team." Your only hope now is to be bought by somebody who wants to own your team.
Okay,
Uh,
let me put it this way. This kind of resonated with me earlier, or really, I kind of realized really that this was the case with esports when I realized that more people watch than people participate in esports. And I don't mean people playing the games because kicking around a football doesn't mean you're playing football competitively. But I mean like more people watch competitive esports than people participate in competitive esports. Like how many people actually sign up for tournaments of any size compared to the amount of people that will watch a large scale tournament like the international or a CS:GO major or LCS, WCS, any of those.
right.
Um,
Okay.
and that's kind of when I realized that like esports has kind of made that transition from like um, very like grassroots, everybody jump in, get involved, to like major spectacle kind of event, or I don't know what you.
So leading to that point, giving some of the backgrounds of what's happening here. So it was owned or purchased by a fairly, I don't know, Sacramento Kings. I don't know is that a big team in regular sports? Is
Yeah.
that a
Yeah.
so two co-owners of the Sacramento Kings purchased the LC like they're an LCS team, uh, NRG, which I assume is a challenger team because I don't think you can buy. Or maybe it's actually full LCS.
I'm sure
Um,
all available at some price or another. I mean, the
yeah,
ownership of the team doesn't matter to
the
the team's
actual
placement
no,
in the tournament. So
but this is a really good thing I think to have that kind of ownership because you are a part of an organization that's used to owning talent, that purchases talent, and they know how to take care. Well, I assume they know how to take care of them.
I think that's a fair and safe assumption.
um, so it's a question if I wonder if these kind of organizations buying up these teams we see a transformation? Like if Mark Cuban comes in and is like, okay, buying your team, now I'm going to turn you like as clean as a brand as Dallas Mavericks. Like what happens now? Like are we going to start seeing these organizations or these esports organizations take it to a next level of branding, of merchandising? Because merchandising in regular sports is grossly much larger than the esports level.
Oh yeah.
So I wonder if we're going to start seeing those kind of trends where these organizations get like a little facelift, right?
I mean,
Comes in,
our
nip
like
tuck.
I think the as part of these organizations purchasing up teams, they're going to develop that market. Like that market isn't quite there yet. Like the logos, the jerseys, the peripherals, those all exist. We just talked about this with Fnatic. Like they're there. They're not prominent. They're not huge. They're not widespread. You can't just walk into like any mall in Toronto and pick up a jersey, right?
But that's what I'm excited about. Don't you think that might happen? Like, say these guys
Yes.
own obviously,
And that's what
a
I'm saying.
team,
That's
right?
that's exactly what I'm getting at. Like I foresee that in the near future probably you're gonna walk into like your EV games and there's gonna be jerseys, like you know what I'm saying, like that kind of thing. Uh,
I think that's really exciting, right? Because they have the
it,
infrastructure.
it is, but
Uh,
at the same time it's also like, it kind of makes you realize that those 40 days of esports are kind of done, like they're over, you know.
Days of summer,
Yeah,
uh, long gone.
you
Oh, well,
can't just pick up a six string anymore. Like you're
oh, there you go. I guess that's the ambition of any team now is to be purchased by someone bigger.
I mean, more and more words. It's just like, esports is making waves in these mainstream pools, and it's yeah, it's all part and parcel. I guess you wanted to make it, you got to take it good and bad, um, but that's what this is. I think. I mean,
Bear,
like,
what's your thoughts? You didn't. I'm sure you're Ripperoni, but
yeah, I think
No,
he's
no, no, I'm here. I'm here. Um, it's it's like you said, the barrier entry is increasing, and I haven't formulated a full opinion on how I feel about this
mm,
because it needs to be legitimized. It needs to be um, there needs to be some balance in all of this so people can take advantage of people. So I think the overall is it's good. It just makes it a lot harder for these
what
tier
taking
tier three,
advantage
tier
though?
two guys getting to tier one.
Well,
Oh,
you know what? I mean, before long, what this means, what the mainstream development means, is that you're gonna see like a big tier two movement. Like you said, it's gonna be more difficult for the tier two, tier three guys. If anything, I think it'll be easier because the more mainstream it gets, the more money there is in it, and
Yes.
that trickles down. It's not if you look at anything mainstream,
I
the
don't.
the tier two, tier three stuff. There's a lot in it for them. Like collegiate leagues, we're already seeing those kind of start to develop with esports.
Yep.
Um, and
We're seeing
like
sponsorships as well with collegiate leagues. Like a couple
yeah,
universities are
oh yeah,
giving away. But
and
I think
massive fan appreciation as well for collegiate leagues, high school leagues, all those kind of like not even collegiate, just tier two, like in instead of your triple A's, you got your double A leagues. Like
I
I see all that kind of stuff is developing, and I think that's a good thing.
I don't think we're going to see it trickle down, though. That's where my concern is. I think there's going to be less and less emphasis on the tier 2 and tier 3, less room for them to make money, less room for them to kind of survive and play full time, and more of it reserved for the tier 1. Because
Really? You think?
if you're Coca-Cola, you're McDonald's, you're any of these companies that are going to jump foot, you're not going to go, "Oh, I care about these guys. They're playing from their bedroom online in this qualifier." Like, you're not going to care about them. You're just going to pay for the stadium. You're going to have your brand all over that place.
You could say the same thing about, why are we going to pay for these collegiate dudes in university to play football?
But with collegiate sports, they don't make any money because like the NCAA is taking most of it.
What does that have to do with Coca-Cola?
Hey,
Coca-Cola doesn't care about them making
take
money.
away their scholarship and their opportunity. They disagree with you. So, I mean, I don't know. Like,
if you look at that, they're proportional to how much the organization's taken away. I mean, that might just be a corrupt organization, but
whew,
that being said, you're not getting paid to play collegiate sports.
whew.
That conspiracy.
It's the same here in Canada. Like the overarching body of the collegiate sports is not trickling down their sponsorship money to the players. The players aren't being paid.
How do you know they're even getting any money?
It's the schools that are given the scholarship because it makes it look good when your team is doing well in sports.
I don't know.
Right?
I might have to.
It doesn't change the fact that at the end of the day, that's tens of thousands of dollars in the players' pockets. They were talking about graduating university or college with no debt because you played football, or massive crushing OSAP debt because you didn't. Like, it's. I mean, truthfully speaking, it is very significant to them, and I mean, we're already seeing that. Like the Collegiate Star League, they had their sponsorship program. I think they're like 5 years running now or something like that. So they've been extremely successful for themselves, and this year they're actually getting into actual prize money. We're seeing a lot of teams, like Ryerson has a Dota team, UFD has a Dota team, Waterloo has a Dota team. They all have CS:GO teams. They definitely all have League of Legends teams. I don't see how the trickle down isn't there. If anything, there's nothing to suggest it isn't. Both already existing in esports and following trends from mainstream, both would suggest that the trickle down is there.
I think it's all moving up together right now. But I think once we get to this point where League of Legends is kind of getting that, that's it. All the money's reserved for tier 1. It's all going there. I want to
say that I coined the phrase trickle down sponsorship.
Trickle down sponsorship. Is that you're gonna patent that?
Patent
pending.
Right beside trickle down economics.
Patent pending.
Reagan, eat your heart out. Well, so there you go. I think, I have to agree with both of you that I think that...
You can't agree with both of us.
You agree with us disagreeing with each other.
They're mutually exclusive opinions. This is what I have to deal with.
Time to disappear. Smoke.
Worse than George W.
Well. All right, next topic.
I don't blame him, but he kind of deserved it. Like, what?
I don't have an answer. I can't escape.
Oh no, well, I mean, it's simple, Drekken. You have to take a stance here. Do you think that the growth of esports will increase the overall money or economic status of tier 2 esports?
Oh, tier 2 and tier 3?
Yeah. Do you think that tier 2, tier 3 esports organizations, players, will they...
the saying,
that's what it is?
Isn't the saying, though, a rising tide raises all boats or some shit shoot like that? Like, everyone...
That's
everyone
what
gets
I'm
a bit better, right?
Well,
even though it's not a lot, like tier 3 isn't gonna walk over to Coca-Cola sponsorship. No,
right.
Obviously not.
It's
but
not
like,
proportional. Like
it's even small organizations benefit from the rise of esports on Riot's level, right?
Absolutely, because there's going to be tier 2 and tier 3 sponsors that are like, look, we can't afford to go tier 1 right now. We just make some sandals, but we'd like to sponsor your players some sandals, all right? Like, let us in.
Those tier 3 sandals.
Just saying.
Tier 3 sandal sponsorships.
I think that as tier 1 esports grows, tier 2 and tier 3 esports even will see an overall increase, and prize pools that we're looking at today, like $20,000 prize pool, that'll be a tier 2 prize pool. all of a sudden, instead of $2,000, tier 2 teams will be playing for 20,000, while tier 1 teams are playing for 20 million.
Are we seeing
Granted,
that for League of Legends right now? Because like that, League of Legends is as close as we can look at something
Is
like
there
this, right?
is there any tier 3 League of Legends? It's like
Uh, that's not the point. The point is like Riot has control over their league of who tier 1 is, right?
right.
All the money is getting pumped into those teams. They have all the sponsorships, or most of the sponsorship right now. My question is like, are we seeing these tier 2 tournaments for tier 2 teams to be making money? Like that's what my question is. I don't have an answer to it.
it's hard to answer because Riot controls all of it. So it's like
I think tier
you're
2 has always
But
been
that's
like
my thing. It's not going to trickle down, right? If
well,
that's
okay,
in
but
that
tier
case, it's
two
not
is
trickling
always,
down.
but tier two has always been like a proving ground. Tier two is always a proving ground for tier one.
okay.
Right?
Well,
So,
let me put it this way: the tier 2 prize pools in Dota and CS:GO have definitely risen over the years. There's no question.
absolutely.
There's no
Yes.
question whether or not Riot have increased their tier 2, tier 3 prize pools. I sure hope so, because that would be a really that would be a dick move. But
that's
have they? I don't actually know because I don't think that League of Legends players make very much money on tournament winnings. It's all in their
Salary.
payroll.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all in their payroll. So I mean, like,
salary.
they're still playing for like a $1 million prize pool at their like biggest event of the year, something like that.
But they make that money
But
up with their living expenses.
yeah, but they get like $80,000 a month salary, so it's like
It makes up. It balances out
yeah.
eventually.
Yeah, it's not that they're not making tons of
If
money.
I was
They
to answer
are.
your question, what I would actually think is the more interesting question is if tier two esports like so if tier one Dota and tier one CS:GO and League of Legends move everything up, do tier two esport titles go up as well? So, for example,
That I
uh,
would say definitely. I mean,
yes.
look at the number of tier 2 esport titles that have entered the scene just recently that like nobody even thought of before. That I mean that that they sustain themselves just by virtue of numbers like that they didn't have previously.
I don't know. I might have to say that I wonder with
Well, no, Bear is the one that linked that great picture, that great article about what a tier 1 esport is and what a tier 2 esport is, and all of a
did he do
sudden,
that? I feel like
all of a sudden there's a whole list of tier 2 esports out there like Smite and I mean
World of
if
Tanks, FIFA.
yeah, I mean whereas like years ago the only game you could make money on in esports was, StarCraft.
But I
So-
don't think I don't think another MOBA can come in the scene now, right? Like
no.
that,
But okay, but here's the thought. But with that being in mind, though, I wonder with tier two esports, can they exist without their publishers? Tier two esports right now, those are inflated. In my personal opinion,
yes.
they're inflated because they
So you're saying there's
survive.
too many
They
of them.
live. Pardon?
You're saying there's too many of them? What do you mean by inflated?
Inflated in the sense that they're sustained by their publisher. So if
Like the
their
publisher's putting money into them.
if their
Oh,
publisher was
tournaments
if
for
their
them.
publisher was
They're-
to
They're bloated.
yes, they're bloated. So if their publisher was to say stop running tournaments, your scene would
Right.
just crumble underneath.
Oh,
it.
I completely agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
So I question if that actually translates. So that if tier one esport
No, but
titles move the
let me-
boats up, is that the tier two tournament scene's growing, or is that the tier two publishers are,
Well,
or is
let me
that
put
just
it this
doesn't
way.
matter regardless?
Let me put it this way. Do you think that if all the publishers in the tier 2 scene just stopped funding their respective esports, would all of those respective games collapse? Like all those games that you think
Yes.
of right now? Well, I don't think so.
I think people would step up.
I don't think so. For example, Call of Duty, the publisher just now started, just like after MLG proved that it's a tier 2 esport, the publisher was like, "Oh, yeah, we could do this. Yeah, we could jump on board now." But but I mean, more people have made money playing Call of Duty than they have Hearthstone, so put things into perspective. Tier 2 esports have definitely grown.
We need a Hearthstone chirp emote whenever Samir shits on Hearthstone.
Just like a chirper, just like a chirper.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's one every episode.
We do-
Hearthstone,
we-
I
what?
agree with you though.
I want to know that. I want to let you know that we do have an open slot in the actual emote. So if you want to design a Hearthstone poop icon, it's available. So I guess moving on. I think we struck that topic fairly good. DreamHack purchased. It's happening, boys. DreamHack has been purchased. We speculated this, I think, 2 or 3 any keys ago because
By
it was a rumor.
speculated, he means we linked an article to somebody suspecting this would happen.
Wow. Yes, that's exactly what happened.
we didn't originate any of this.
So,
Credit
now
where
that the
credit's
veil,
due.
now that the veil has been lifted, we did indeed read an article and followed along with the speculations of somebody else who was much more knowledgeable about the scene and the scenario,
Yes,
and came to the same conclusion as that person.
we agreed
That
with them. We were like, yes, you are correct. MTG is considering buying DreamHack.
and that indeed is what the articles presented, and we too agreed that MTG may have decided to buy DreamHack. Speculations have been revealed that it is true, which we did not do any sort of investigation at all. DreamHack has officially changed ownership based on their press release that was presented a couple days ago. Can't find the actual day.
Yeah, but nonetheless,
Why this is important to people is that MTG now owns DreamHack and ESL. That's why that's important.
what's left?
That was going to be my next statement.
Quick,
What do you buy
hide your
next?
women, hide your children. MTG is coming.
Well, what else do you need to buy, though, really?
Star Ladder. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, because if you think about it, ESL and I guess MLG is the next purchase, isn't it? The Yahoo speculations
MLG? Why?
for their platform.
They don't.
I guess.
They don't represent any market share.
Yeah, what?
Okay, but let's think about the when I think about the idea of owning two of them. I asked myself at first, why would you buy two? Like, your portfolio already has one esports company.
No, but
Why own a
it's
second
because.
one?
No, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you look at the market share, like 80% of esports content belongs to those two organizations.
Really, you say that much between like
Across-
ESL? Yes,
across-
yes.
ESL, yeah.
Across all titles, absolutely. I'm not looking at any one particular game. I'm saying if you take Dota, CS:GO, everything, and let's keep League of Legends out of this because that's obviously not in the realm of purchase for MTG. But the organizations that produce the content for League of Legends are, namely, DreamHack and ESL. If you look at the total market share, ESL and DreamHack represent at least over 70% of all content in esports.
Okay, I can. Well, not all content. I'd say all tournament product, like tournament.
That's what I mean by content. I don't mean
okay.
like YouTube videos and that kind of stuff. I mean like
The tournament production.
Yeah, and that inherently gives you the right to all the trickle down content from there, which is the YouTube videos, like all that. But if you own the event, you also control like all the other stuff, right? Because you control.
The second thing is too, I believe DreamHacks are a different type of property than an ESL.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, I see DreamHack is a different property in terms of their value they bring to esports. Like ESL creates the professional kind of stadium feel, while DreamHack is almost like the mosh pit. Like it's a professionally produced, or the concert.
I'm fairly certain that if you ever went to a DreamHack, you might feel differently. They produce the main stage very much.
No, I know, but I mean, like it's a festival. It's a festival.
It's more of it's a LAN, right? Like.
Yeah, well, no, yes,
it's
it is a LAN. It's a festival. It's a festival, while ESL
ESL's
is more
production.
Like a spectacle. Well, they're both production, but they produce it differently. Like ESL isn't a festival. You don't go to ESL to like, play on 24-hour PCs and stuff like that. You don't go to that for that. Yeah. Like you go to DreamHack for that.
DreamHack is the event, right? Like that's
well, DreamHack is the event, but it owns the content. Like esports is a content vertical in DreamHack. Like DreamHack is more than just esports. Well, I would say
they're not direct competitors with each other. There's overlap, but I don't think they're direct.
They are definitely direct competitors, both with their own unique angle to esports.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Whereas
that's fair.
ESL produce a show where you're a spectator, whereas DreamHack produce a show where you also play the game that you're there to spectate.
There we go. That's what Drekken was getting at.
Yes,
Yes.
I was slowly crawling into. I think the festival is pretty much the best way to put it. Is there any other types of events then, like the esports aside, like you have, if you think about on regular entertainment, you have festivals all the time, like music
Yep.
festivals and all that stuff, and you
Yep.
have professionally produced concerts.
Yep.
Is are those the only two categories? Like I feel like is that
Uh,
from an entertainment, live entertainment production or whatever you want to call it, like is the are we have we hit the two caps? You have your
those
festival.
those are the two major ones for content. I mean, there's after that, there's a bunch of other like
I guess
tournaments and stuff like that.
expos are kind of like the only other thing, but DreamHack
Yeah,
kind of fills that
expos
role.
aren't content. We're we're talking content pretty much here.
Yeah, but
'Cause
like I'm talking about more like a platform in a way because you have DreamHack as a festival, esports like the festival itself is a platform for the esports content. They like, having the content in that adds a value to them. While I would see ESL as kind of like they produce the concert, the esport concert of, or if you will, like the show. And
Yep.
I don't know if there's a different type of variety. Like I don't know. I'm wondering if there's space for another type. Right? Is there another type I'm missing? Like, is there, because you already have a festival type and now you have a concert type,
no, the only
and
other one is the expo trade show.
the expo trade show. Oh, that's an interesting thought. Um, I don't know if we're gonna see anyone take that spot. Like MLG was kind of that, and then they stopped doing that, and then WCG was kind of like that, and then I don't know where they went with that. Um, but yeah, I guess that's really the next one is the Expo trade show, the fan expo, if you will,
Those
uh,
exist. I just
for
don't think that.
esports. You think
Yeah.
so?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They do.
I don't
Um,
think I can't think of a single organization that the basis of it is like the
that's what
basis.
PAX is.
Yeah, but PAX is not
It's
an
just not
esports.
esports.
No,
It's just not
okay.
an esports exclusive. That's all.
No, well, I'm thinking about like because DreamHack is an esports exclusive festival, so I'm thinking like if you had
Not really. DreamHack existed long
yeah,
before.
you're right. You know what? Sorry, you're right. DreamHack is more of the gaming
Yeah.
festival.
It's transitioned into that because they were like, hey, this stuff's pretty cool, so we're gonna
So
put on
I
some
guess
shows as well.
if you put it in that kind of category, then yes, PAX is probably that.
But I don't think
kind of
MTG
thing.
buys packs just because there's no content for them to televise.
Oh, that's true.
And that's ultimately what they're doing. Like, end of the day, you have to recognize that this is like a television media company that puts content on like mainstream platforms, whether or not that's on a computer screen or a TV. They don't really care as long as people are watching. That's their business. So they're buying stuff that a lot of people are watching.
So it looks like if you read quickly through the thing, a lot of the plans for it is they're pushing DreamHack Festival to be the number one festival for an entire generation of gamers. And I think it's already that. I don't know anything bigger than DreamHack, but
Yeah, true enough.
so I guess right now I guess it's the biggest in Europe. Uh, if you were to count PAX and that, I guess maybe PAX almost maybe
No, I
mirrors that. Like
no. DreamHack is the biggest. Period. You start breaking it down into sections, like where the DreamHack is happening, then it's no longer the biggest.
in the
Because
world, are we talking about like I don't know if is it the biggest in the world? I feel
do you
like
mean by
PAX
that?
is because
Well,
they want to be the biggest gaming festival in the world.
they already are, but what I'm trying to say is if you're saying like they're the biggest in Europe, well, granted they haven't tried North America yet. Um, so yes, they're definitely.
Oh, you're talking about in terms of location.
Well, no, I'm saying you were breaking it down by location because you were
Yes, I
saying
was.
DreamHack's the biggest by in Europe. So I'm saying, well, technically they're the biggest in the world, also the biggest in Europe. They haven't tried anywhere other than Europe yet, though. So, I mean,
So
technically you have Russia, I guess, which is technically in Asia, but still European enough.
so that's where we land now with DreamHack. Are we in trouble? Do you guys think we're in trouble at all with them owning both of these two companies?
Do you want me to answer for me or for Bear?
Well, hopefully.
I'll answer for me. I don't think that we're in trouble. I think that this is somebody trying to stake their claim of the market. Not to say that somebody won't come and do it bigger or better, but they're trying to gain a good portion. They're placing their chips early to try and get it all now before it costs them too much. But that doesn't mean that because they do, that nobody else is gonna come in and do it bigger and better.
No.
Like this could, like, if MTG buys it up and they start ripping it down and turn it into shit, kind of like Activision did with Blizzard, then somebody else will be like, look, this company ruined your esports things. Here's a new one for you. Tell us how you like it.
Bear, your thoughts? I love to hear this.
My general rule of thumb is that monopolies are never good.
Oh,
However,
Huh?
I think the industry is far too young, so it doesn't take much money for someone to come up, like Tamir said, and say, "Oh, you guys are kind of screwing this up, taking advantage of people. Here's our money. Go fix it to someone else." So I'm fine with it.
wow.
Different than what you thought I was gonna say, huh?
Wow. I feel like you just said it to
No,
throw
no,
us a
no.
loop.
I mean, I could have went full political, but I mean,
You could have been like,
Man.
Snowden is gonna come and save us.
Snowden
Liberate
of
us.
esports. I wonder who is the Snowden of esports. It's probably
Ridiculous.
like no. That's definitely not the case. Snowden of esports would have to be like James Harding.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. It has to be James. There's no other.
I don't feel like
You'll see. Once people start being taken advantage of in esports and there's no more privacy left, James is going to be like, I will fight for the people.
Well, we'll see. Bear, your savior will eventually get here.
I'll be
From the
savior,
comfort
don't worry.
of the couch in his basement, of course. But
Oh, well. Where else would you fight?
the best battles, of course,
Are
from the
always
couch in your
fought.
basement. Yeah, naturally.
Always. So I think that's what we're gonna end it there. But before we go and do our final discussions, item came up of having a call-in number for people to join into our discussions via Skype. I am on board for that. I think that sounds like super exciting, and I don't know. I kind of just sort of said that we're gonna do it, but
Is Bear okay with it?
I'll get a VPN. I'll make sure.
see there, that was what I was expecting to. I was expecting to say that. That was what I was expecting Bear to be like.
No, I don't.
I don't want my IP exposed. I don't want people.
I say one thing, and you guys think I'm here like.
You didn't say one thing. It's more. That's like saying I have one belief system, and you guys just like. It's not saying one thing. It's subscribing to one cult. Yes, that doomed you.
Said we need to be a little careful with our privacy, and that's it. Getting all this hate thrown on me. Then it's some corporations. Now I'm against all corporations, and
you have to admit that you're a bit anti-establishment.
A bit.
You've been saying that all weekend to me. I don't like. I don't.
Actually, I think he called you unassuming.
I did that too, but I also said that he was anti-establishment.
I think I said that.
No, I said to him in the car on Saturday when we were driving, and I told that he was against all institutions
Not all.
that could own.
I'm pro
Not
people, and
He's
when
pro-government.
institutions, I'm pro government.
No, he's anti-government.
No, he's
Well,
pro-government.
If he could have anarchy.
Okay,
Josh would
listen.
have anarchy.
He doesn't think that governments shouldn't exist. He's pro-government. He's
I don't
just
think anarchy works.
he's just against governments that are corrupt. So he's not.
What?
He is pro-government. Like, okay, never. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna get into this.
I get it. I just the whole governments that are corrupt. Who's for
We just
that?
get on the record. I'm not anti-establishment. I don't want
Yes.
I don't want
Yes.
anyone fighting this, and like just you saying this in passing, and that's it.
Perfect
Like,
example of Bear's privacy being breached right here. This is it. This is his
I don't-
rape whistle.
I don't
All
want
the
this
guards, my
to be, I don't want this to be
privacy.
like he's anti-establishment. Period. No discussion. That's it, and we just carry on.
I honestly to
I'm
God,
not, but we can discuss
I
this.
honestly got to God, if I would pay real money to be in a job interview where someone's like, "So it looks like all your papers are in order. Oh, what's this? We heard here on the Any Key
Episode
you're
27.
episode 27. You're anti-establishment. Unfortunately, at this establishment, We can't hire you.
It's like
Just
that
like,
movie.
no.
Like that movie with Sylvester Stallone where he's like cryogenically frozen and then they unfreeze him to like apprehend some criminal or something like that.
Like Judge Dredd or something.
Yeah, something ridiculous like that. It's Demolition Man. That's what it's called.
Demolition Man.
Yeah, they like cryogenically freeze him as a cop when he's like all rough and he has no problem like shooting people and whatnot. And then they like unfreeze him to like apprehend some criminal or something like that because he's the only one that can do it. And he comes back into the future, and they're all like soft-spoken people and like guns are basically non-existent. Like you can't
So
swear or
is
you get a
Josh-
ticket, and like and then yeah, this is basically what's gonna happen to Josh.
So is
Like
Josh
20 years.
Sylvester Stallone or is he
Yes,
Wesley
well, exact.
Snipes?
No, he is. No, he's Sylvester Stallone because somebody's gonna find this VOD in 20 years and they're gonna be like, we have incriminating evidence that you are anti-government, Mr. Josh Bear Ardrini, and we're gonna have to lock you up on several accounts of conspirating to overthrow the government.
Oh my gosh. Oh, someone's gonna listen to this VOD and be like, "What the-" So let's moving on now. So for next week, we're gonna try to fit in live Skype calls for guys, everyone, ladies, guys. If you want to call in, we'll figure out a way so that you can participate even closer to the NE key. Whew, that was so good, Josh. You have. Let's do a let's do a wrap up.
Quick,
All right. So
quick
final
recap.
thoughts. Yeah, final thoughts, guys. Final thoughts on Steel Series. I guess more like brand esports teams.
Fnatic.
Yeah, I was gonna say Fnatic, but brands picking up their own peripherals or retail in general.
You know what?
Here.
As long as the peripherals aren't shit, as long as it's not like literally not rebranded crap, I'm perfectly for it. We don't need any more rebranded crap. Like we don't need junk that just has an esports team logo on it, marketed as though it's some unique product. If it is a unique product, great. If it's not, then like don't try and scam people for no reason.
Final thoughts, Bear.
I like it. I think this is better. I like it going this way, not the other way, as opposed to like the
Wait,
pro
you
player,
like-
the team designing the peripheral and then selling it, as opposed to someone making it and then forcing the team to use it till they find one. Like I think this just logically makes more sense for
It does. And
it'll make better devices.
yeah,
So
just to follow up on what Bear said because it's so accurate. No, like pretty much every other sport, whether you're like BMX, like crazy bike guy, or like skateboarding, or you're an NFL player, whatever, like the peripherals, the accessories to the sport follow you, not you follow the accessories. You know what I mean? So if you're sponsored by SteelSeries as a pro gamer and you have to use all SteelSeries equipment, even though you hate them, but that's who sponsors your team, like that's like that's what Josh is pointing out here. That's like bad and like doesn't make a lot of sense. Whereas the other way makes a whole lot more sense, where you're like, I'm the pro player, I design what I like, you guys can buy my shit. Like,
yeah, like as a user, I would much rather buy something that a pro player had a direct hand in designing, as opposed to something that they kind of like said, all right, here are 5 mice, pick one.
yeah, best example I gave is like Air Jordans, right? Like people buy these shoes all the time because Michael Jordan designed these shoes that he finds are like best for his basketball playing skills or what have you. Nobody's gonna be like, you know what, we got these Reeboks, Jordan, we need you to wear them.
Yeah.
Like
I can see definitely how that comes to it. My final thoughts is I feel that I think more organizations, not just teams, should get into the retail game and should be making not just peripherals. I think just in general, either selling items and equipment. So even computers, like
Mhm.
let's just expand it. Like I think that's in terms of sponsorship. Sponsorship is that medium where you partner up with an organization that does retail or has some sort of sales, and you're that marketing arm. And I
Draken
think
wants an EG laptop. Is that what you're getting at here?
But like
I
peripherals
think-
make more sense. There's more design in a peripheral, whereas
well, not even peripherals.
the
like,
the components for a computer are more or less
No,
standard.
like, okay, think
you
about
can
nips.
you can customize a build. You can say, oh, this is what our team. These are the specs, and like then sell it, put your logo on it. Sure, but like you're just
Yeah.
putting your logo on a case.
any service though, it doesn't
When you-
have. It can be any service. If you think about peripherals, if you think about how much longer until EG has like EG builds, right? And it's just this laptop. They make custom laptops that
So I'm saying in
or
state of
caps them
the
or
But I'm
caps
saying
them.
that's less beneficial to a consumer than having the team design the
Why is that
keyboard and
less?
the
Why
mouse
is that?
and
Why is
and
that
the
less
headset.
beneficial?
Because
That's
there's
absolutely
more
perfect.
quote unquote customization that goes into designing a mouse or designing a keyboard. There's more like features, whereas computer components are
Okay,
they're all standard.
you can't say it's more beneficial and then put quote on quotes on everything that you're suggesting. Like that doesn't.
No. I mean, customization was like when you
Rip.
go buy your mouse, you're not.
and and he's gone. Perfect. All
There might be like
right.
The best part is like when he's trying to
He's
argue and he's like
he's
he
still
gets ripped.
going. It's funny because it's like his computer senses his anger and just shuts down. It's like sodium levels rising, cannot compute,
oh
too much
god, whatever.
processing.
It's actually incredibly funny. So yeah, we'll take that as your argument, Bear. Final thoughts. Final thoughts, Jameer, on esports teams being purchased by sports teams.
Hey, nothing wrong with it.
Hmm?
It's good to see people who have been in the business for longer than us get into the business, if that makes sense.
Excellent. Final thoughts, Bear. This is time for you can get it through on esports teams purchasing sports teams purchasing esports teams.
Do I have to play the anti-establishment card, or can I give my actual opinion?
If you can get it out, you
No,
can.
I don't know.
if I could get it out.
Sounds like the establishment's messing with your internet connection right now, so I don't know.
They found out. They know.
Hold
They
on.
heard.
Quick, break up his transmission.
No, I think overall it's very good. It just puts more money into the scene, helps. As people know what they're doing, I think it'll create a better team and higher quality teams.
I agree.
Okay, my final thoughts. I think overall it does raise it raises the barrier to entry for new teams being formed. I don't know if that's bad. Like Tamir said, everything, and anything is like that now, where the barrier of entry, you can't just go and start up, you know, a certain tech startup where before you could have just put it in your garage. Now it's a well, you can still probably do it, but maybe not an Apple future. Um, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel very longing for the days of yore, but that has no bearing on whether or not this is
Well,
particularly good to
it just means that
the
it's not a
industry.
free market anymore, right? That's
Yeah.
ultimately what it comes down to.
It's a free market if you have the money.
Well, that essentially means that it's not a free market.
It's not a free. Yeah.
Because you have to buy in, so it's not free.
That's not how free market works. That's not how the term free market
That's
applies.
I just well, when I say free market, I don't mean like it's not open to anybody. Of course, it's open to anybody that wants to
Okay,
jump in.
yes,
But what I'm
that's
saying is, it's not
that.
anybody's market anymore, and that's
It's it's a it's a fake free market. It's free market that if you have them, anybody could technically jump in, but not
it.
you.
Well, the thing is, it's not free because you have to buy, right? You have to buy in. So that's like it's like saying it's like you go to a poker table. Is this an open table? Yes. You just have to put down $10,000 to get in. Well, guess what? It's not open then. There's a buy-in.
It's
So
the way you mince words, I can't even argue because it's true, but it's just like that's not how the words are used.
okay, you're right. You're right. My semantics were pretty off on that one. I
Like those are
concede,
everything you said was exactly accurate, but it's like
but the reason that we have conventional context is to make conversations more simple and flow better. And I use the term free market incorrectly.
okay. So did we finish that one? Okay. Final thoughts on DreamHack being bought by MTG. Bear anti-establishment line. Go.
I think it's good.
That's it.
Man,
I no,
we're really
it's
a
good.
bad influence on him.
I have to change. I have to play this card, otherwise you guys are gonna just rip on me for another 20 minutes. So it's great. Glad to see. Happy overall. But actually,
I actually want you to one day just say the words like I believe in the establishment and I think my information should be given to the government.
like those are two
I-
things. I may agree to one. I don't
said-
know. Like
So what Draken is saying, he wants you to surrender your privacy willingly.
no. I'm going down with the fight.
Final thoughts to me on the DreamHack being bought.
Um, I'll give it the same kind of opinion that I give to every time some larger organization swoops into esports and buys up something, whether it's Yahoo or Amazon. I hope that they don't mess it up. Like, great, you've bought something. These organizations clearly work for the scene. They've developed with and for the scene. Please don't mess them up. If you do, we will be forced to create new ones, which is, untimely and inconvenient. So, just you bought something good. Don't mess it up. Just let it grow, and help it along rather than try and mold it into something that it already
That's
is.
a really very specific and accurate threat. It's like, don't mess it up, or we'll be forced to have to take you down.
I think the difference this time is that both companies that they own have, like, it's clear what their objective would be, and like there's some hand holding, and they can like pass ideas, bounce them back and forth between each other. Whereas like Yahoo picking up MLG is it's kind of unclear what their motive was, right? So I think overall this partnership is better.
Like I said, I hope that they don't interfere too much and don't try and change it into what they think it should be, as opposed to what obviously has grown, developed, and shown to work for our scene. Like, don't try and make it into, like, 6 p.m. esports news broadcast. Like,
The 6 p.m. esports news broadcast.
Final thoughts on MTG buying DreamHack, Drekken?
My final thoughts. Damn you, Tamir. You just
Ruined it.
ruined it. Just everything's just ruined. Just like
Well-
Bob Ross all over. Ruined.
Ruined.
I don't know. I feel a bit uncomfortable because of the fact that competition is always good. I think two organizations owned by
Competition.
DreamHack and ESL are slightly at odds with each other in theory. They are,
Yep.
and I think by being owned by the same parent, it puts us as an industry in a complacent place where they may not one up each other because it's not beneficial to the parent company to do so.
Right.
They both put on really amazing productions. DreamHack, in my opinion, more so than ESL. But I think that still forces ESL to strive to produce a better product. And MLG is trying to come catch up into the big boys table. So, now what are we left with in terms of on the outside? I'm not really happy with what we're left with. I think slim pickings will not make anybody move. So this is like someone buying both YouTube and Twitch, and you're like, well, that's good. Well, at least they both were very good companies, but neither of them are going to try to innovate, and that's how I feel if that analogy was applied here. What we would see, I don't see much growth. So
Yeah, competition is necessary. I think we can all agree on that.
absolutely, but to your saying, Tamir, this might force someone else to pop up into the space. Who knows? I hope
You know
so.
what?
I really do.
At the very least, it's going to make other people take notice of the space. That's for sure.
True. No. Very true. All right. So, final thoughts on Bear being attacked viciously by everyone on this show. Bear, why don't you lead us in? No, I'm kidding. We'll end it off there.
Just watch
Final
what you
thoughts.
say.
Everybody love everybody.
Everybody love everybody. That's out of character, but
Ow.
so guys, this has been another episode 27 of the Any Key. Be sure, where can they find you, Bear, on the interwebs? Where can they find your this persona?
I'm done today. I swear to God, I'm done.
You can find him at the Sergeant Bear on Twitter. I won't reveal your SIN number on stream, I promise. Your grandmother's secret identity is safe with us.
Bear, where else can they find you?
That's it. This is the Sergeant Bear on Twitter. If you want to watch me play some bass, you could find my Instagram that's on my Twitter. That's it. Otherwise, that's it. That's where I am.
That's it.
Tamir,
That's
where
where
can they
he's
find
at.
you? Where can they find you on the internet, Tamir?
I am everywhere on the internet. All of my information is publicly available. You should have no problem. It's at Strygwyrd, STRYGWYRD on Twitter. Everything else is linked there, or something like that.
Very good. And you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all that good jazz. At Draconis is generally my username. DREKKONIS. And you can follow ES Champ for all our tournaments and musings, like this show. At ES Champ, ESCHAMP. On Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Instagram is a little bit more of the behind the scenes kind of aspect. Twitter, you're going to get updates of when we go live on stream. Same thing with Facebook.
YouTube.
So, YouTube, uh, youtube.com/eschamp. And if you're not listening to us on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/eschamp. And you can catch us live every week, Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the NA key. So, guys, keep searching for that NA key, and we'll see you next time.